spent hours and hours to make this program happen, and really the guy that has come up with the idea with some help of friends and who's coordinated and saw this program through, he deserves the majority of the credit. So Dave LeBeau, if you could come up, please.
Thanks, Barry. And thank you all for coming for this very special occasion for us, recipient of the Firemen's Association's 2020 Recruitment and Retention Award. Just a 2-minute background. I can't really take all the credit for this. What I can take credit for is having the foresight to ask one of my neighbors, who is the retired creative director of a big New York City ad firm, to help us out with this recruitment program. Unlike Doug Welch. He's really the creative brains behind it. So all I take credit for is twisting his arm and getting him to help us. But he came up with the ideas. He came up with the theme for the recruitment program. He developed the ads. He got his friend to come up from North Carolina, take 6,000 pictures in one day, and boil them down to the dozen. That was the first year's set of recruitment program that we did. So it's been a long haul, but Doug did really all the creative work, so that's all I can take credit for, is bringing him in. You mentioned Peter, bro. Peter, well, the photographer Peter Zander lives in Asheville, North Carolina. And on his own dime, came up here to spend a day with us taking pictures. He did it 2 years in a row. So thank you to Peter, thank you to Doug. So let me not take any more time. Let me ask John Farrell from the Firemen's Association of New York to come up, and he will introduce his colleagues and to make the presentation.
Thank you, Dave, and good evening. It is certainly a pleasure for me to be here this evening for giving out this award. But before I move forward, I'd like to introduce those that are with me. First, the trustees. I have William Eck and Marilyn Schrader, and my Sergeant at Arms, Tom Witt. Also, I have Dave Glenn, who is the chairman of the Recruitment Retention Committee from Whitesboro, New York, in central New York. So I'd like to, Dave will be presenting the award this evening. But first, I just want to mention about the award itself. As you know, we've been doing Recruit New York for several years. I believe it's close to 9, if not 10. And many fire districts, fire companies throughout the state of New York have done a tremendous job. And approximately 3 years ago, the board of directors said, how do we show the recognition to those fire companies that continue to put hours of volunteer and putting plans together to reach out to bring the volunteers into your station. And of course, during those 10 years or so, we send out the signage and so forth for the fire companies for your support to hang on your stations, get out through your community. But one of the things that came out was we need to recognize the ones that we feel are the top. So what we decided to do, we went ahead and started this award last year, and this year is the second award. And it truly is an honor. I've been to Chatham, I'm a local guy myself, and it truly is an honor to be here for this award. After reviewing the application, this was basically a good 2-year program. The members of that committee, I could tell, was thinking outside the box. They kept on working, reaching out to their different communities. The campaign ad that they did was just outstanding. And the bottom line is, they brought in roughly 20% of membership. And some of those members were firefighters in the neighboring community, which they had passed on to those fire districts. But it certainly is an honor to be here. And Dave, I can't say enough for your hard work and dedication.
Thank you, Joe.
And Chief Barnes, I know Chief Barnes when he was a member of the Athens Fire Department, and he says to me as the emergency manager of the county, he says, "John, can you do a tabletop exercise?" "Sure, I'll support you." And he did a terrific job, and then he moved to Columbia County. But I'll tell you, Chief Barnes is an excellent leader, and I'm glad to see him this evening. Without any further ado, I'd like to have Dave Glenn come up for the presentation, and the officers of FASNY as well.
Thank you, President Farrell. Thank you, everybody. First off, I want to start by saying thank you, Dave. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies, for what you do every day answering the call. It's what we set forth to do, and it's what you do without a second thought. Also, after this year, hopefully we can resume our normal schedule for next year. FASNY's got a lot of things coming out to help you guys in your recruit and retention. I kind of get a little excited. I'm bouncing all over the place. Sorry, but this is what we have to do to get them coming in. And then we have some stuff coming out on the retention side too as well. But on behalf of FASNY and the state of New York, I would like to present this plaque to the Chatham Fire Department for your jobs well done on the recruit and retention side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Let me read this in grateful recognition of the Chatham Fire Department for their commitment to protecting the community they serve by implementing an innovative volunteer recruitment program. FASNY Recruitment and Retention Award 2020. Thank you very much. Let me also mention that even though Eric Barnes is the current chief, the recruitment program was carried out under the leadership of past Chief Paul Rideout. He let us run with it. Found a few bucks also. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you being here. It's a great honor. Let me ask Senator Jordan, Senator Daphne Jordan, who's our state senator in the 43rd New York State Senate District. She will say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. It's terrific to be here. Chief Barnes, First Assistant Chief Paul Pratt, Second Assistant Chief Paul Rideout, Chatham Fire Department officers, officials, members, recruits, recruit coordinator who did an awesome job. I'm proud to join you all in observing this special occasion. We're here to recognize the Chatham Fire Department on its receiving FASNY's prestigious 2020 Recruitment and Retention Award. The Chatham Fire Department is especially deserving of this recognition. Amid the unprecedented challenges presented by COVID-19, the Chatham Fire Department, all of you, successfully raised the bar in terms of attracting new recruits. Attracting new recruits is an incredible accomplishment in normal times, and these trying times are anything but that. But by smartly utilizing social media and advertising via new mediums, such as local movie theaters, the Chatham Fire Department demonstrated the continued strength, innovation, and community-centric spirit in its approach to recruitment efforts. Your recruitment tally is very impressive and noteworthy. I understand that you have had 7 new recruits in the last 2 years, which is 20% of the department now that you have new active firefighters. That's a terrific accomplishment to be proud of. And this is reflective of the growing community-wide interest and recognition of the Chatham Fire Department's outreach and recruitment efforts. Congratulations to Recruitment Coordinator David Laveau, to Chief Eric Barnes, to all the members, the department's recruits, You continue breaking through the barriers and show us all what's possible through hard work and dedication. I'm proud to join FASNY in recognizing and celebrating the can-do attitude and community spirit and service that defines the Chatham Fire Department, which is truly deserving of the award bestowed by FASNY. And speaking of FASNY, they do a fantastic job advancing the interests and needs of our courageous firefighters who protect families and serve their communities. Thank you to all and congratulations. I have a Senate certificate to present, a memorial of today and recognition for your hard work.
Thank you so much. This one, Senator Daphne Jordan, Certificate of Recognition, presented to Chatham Fire Department as you are honored with the 2020 Recruitment and Retention Award by the Firemen's Association of the State of New York. The New York State Senate thanks you for your service and dedication to our keeping our communities safe. Signed by the Senator. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
I would like to I'm going to turn this over to our captain in charge of picture frames. Find a suitable frame for that.
If you can't find that one that fits, I think we have some in the office that we can get to you too. Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for all
coming.
your hard work, everyone, and for answering the call every single day. It's greatly appreciated by your community and the state of New York.
Thank you for coming. Mayor Howe. Hold on. Were you going to say anything?
Before we call the mayor up here, fire coordinator, George, do you have anything, or would you like to say a few words?
Just congratulations. I mean, it's a perfect example of the community working together and doing a great job and keeping the Boston Fire Service strong. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Howe, would you come forward, please?
Thanks, Chief. Bear with me, it's been a long day. I can't be more proud of this organization being as involved in it as I have been over the years and continue to be. Let me tell you a little story. I was talking to the senator earlier, how Dave got that position as coordinator, and how it worked was FASNY started rolling out this program 4 or 5 years ago. And somebody stood up in a meeting and said, who wants to take this position? And everybody went like this, but David, he was standing there. So he got it by default. And the first 2 or 3 years, dutifully, he came here on that 3rd weekend or whatever it was of April, put all the banners up, stayed here from 9 o'clock in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, coffee, donuts, hot dogs, ladder trucks out front, open house, and about 4 people showed up. And he came back the next year and he did it again, and everybody's going, he's crazy. And we were putting some money behind it for some advertising, and I think the companies got together and said, this isn't working. David didn't give up. He persevered. So he went out and he worked his neighbor over pretty hard, twisted some arms, and he said, would you be interested in just listen to a little bit of what Doug has to offer? Not knowing Doug, I do know now, because he's worked me over on some projects, but he came down one afternoon, evening, whatever it was, with a short PowerPoint. And here's the analogy he used. You're driving down Route 66 and you see a car with the hood up and somebody standing alongside of it. You take a look and you just kind of go by. If you're driving down Route 66 and you see the hood up and you see your neighbor standing next to that car, what are you going to do? You're going to stop and help. And he was thinking outside of the box, because firefighters thinking as firefighters, how are we going to get firefighters to come in here? He made it personal, and his creativity. I mean, it was a home run. It wasn't a home run. It was a grand slam. And we came to the monthly meeting. We made the pitch, and everybody went for it. And here we are today. So, great job. So I got a couple little certificates myself. Again, bear with me because I don't see like I used to. Certificate of Appreciation presented to David Laveau, for your remarkable and exemplary work as a recruitment coordinator for the Chatham Fire Department Recruitment and Retention Campaign on this date. Signed by. Certificate of Appreciation presented to Douglas Welch for your remarkable and exemplary work as a creative director for the Chatham Fire Department Recruitment and Retention Campaign. Again. And I do have one here, and Doug, you can take this certificate of appreciation presented to Peter Zanda for your remarkable and exemplary work as a photographer for the Chatham Fire Department Recruitment and Retention Campaign. Peter, now, when he said 6,000 pictures, that wasn't a lie. They set his room up next door early in the morning and blacked it all out. 6,000 photos, and they had to go home at the end of the day and pick out like 12 of them. Remarkable.
Peter will treasure this. Can I just say one thing, though? Peter's job was made a little easier because the Chatham Fire Department has the best looking firefighters in the state of New York.
Boy. And I wasn't asked to be one of them. So, just before I finish up here, we're really on a roll here in the village of Chatham Fire Department. Just earlier, 3 or 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and a lot of this goes. Chief Rideout just got out as chief, and Chief Barnes just stepped in, but a lot of this took place over Chief Rideout's terms. We just had an ISO audit, and I won't get into a lot of it. It's kind of huge for us, but we went from a 4 to a 3, which means the 3 number is wonderful, and it's going to be a big savings to the residents of this community and their insurance. There was a lot of work that went in on this committee, the ISO committee, a lot of paperwork, and they proved that the training really makes a difference. The apparatus, the water system, our building department. So that was a huge thing. Can I talk about the?
Sure.
Got to be careful what I can talk about. We applied over a number of years. We do this every year. Apply for FEMA grants. There's $300 million as a grant across the country. It's very competitive. These guys thought outside the box this year, and they went regionally, which a lot of outfits don't do that. They do it on their own. We have always done it on our own. We partnered with the Ghent, our brothers and sisters from Ghent and Niagara, our mutual aid partners, to replace all our air packs. They just, within the last 2 weeks, scored a $450,000 grant. 200 of that's going to be right here in Chatham, $200,000. That's all within the last 2 weeks. And then this being the icing on the cake, it just it makes it all worthwhile. Those days when nobody was here, David, and eating hot dogs, it makes it worthwhile. It truly does. So again, thank you all.
So I think we're just about at the end. First thing I'd like to do is thank everybody. Thank FASNY, thank you, Senator, thank all of our guests, thank you all, thank you, David, Doug. Unless somebody else has something else they would like to present or say, at this point, I'd like to introduce the company officers. Is President Garvey here yet? Okay, so President Dave Chapman, this will be the last introductions we have tonight. President Dave Chapman, if you could come forward, and Vice President Bob Dallas, if you could come forward. I'm going to turn it over to them. They may say a few words, and then I'll turn it over to them for the joint meeting. We're going to have a joint company meeting next. So thank you all.
Hi, I think almost everybody here knows me.
What's your name?
If they don't, it's too late.
Just call him Chappie, it's all you have to call him.
I can remember 5, 6 years ago when we recruited, or he recruited us. Dave joined the fire department, and there was, Dave is no spring chicken. He's about my age, a little older, and not much, just a little. Anyway, there is proof right there that it isn't always the youngest person that you need in the fire department. You need people with experience, people who can, as John would like to say, think outside the box. I think, I've always said, and Dave's living proof of that, that there is a job for everybody in a volunteer fire company. And Dave has proved that. Thank you.
David, going along as Chappie just said, congratulations and thank you for what you did for Chatham Fire Company. I joined Chatham 10 years ago. I used to belong to Tri-Village until I closed the road off over there on White Mills Road. I was in there for 26 years and I finally transferred to Chatham because it was closer to Chatham. I'm very glad that I did join Chatham Fire Company. Congratulations to all my fellow firefighters.
Dave, the floor is yours. Anybody that wants to stay, it's an open joint meeting, but we're gonna conduct the business meeting at this point, so thank you.